Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about how much money that you should have saved by age. This will hopefully give you a good outline of where you should be money-wise depending on how old you are. Now I just want to point out really quick that when I say saved, I do mean saved in a bank to an extent, but when I'm saying saved, I'm really meaning invested. If you save all your money and then you put it in your savings account at the bank, yes, they give you a small, tiny percent back, but you are missing out on so much money that you could be making if that money was in, let's say, a Roth IRA, good mutual fund at 14% ROI. You'd be missing out on so much money because of the compound interest from that account. Check out my video right here or right here on one of these sides, and I go over exactly what I mean when I say how much money you could be losing by not investing in the stock market because of compound interest. Now, I also want to say this is not a one size fits all. Obviously, some people are saving for retirement. They want to live luxuriously. They want to go on a bunch of vacations. They want to buy new cars, fancy cars, sports cars, whatever it may be. And then some people just want to pay their bills. They just want to do the basics and just live in peace and harmony. Depending on which one you want to be is going to depend on what actions you take to get there drastically. If you just want to be the guy who just lives in peace, just enough to pay the bills, then you don't need to save that much extra. But if you're going to want to live in a lot of luxury and have a lot of sports cars, then you're going to need to be dumping a ton of money into your retirement savings. Okay guys, now before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, and if this video adds value to your life at all, make sure to subscribe. I do make new videos just like this one every single week. To get started, I'm starting with the age group 18 to 24 years old. Now I'm just going to say the average for this age group because the average and the median for this age group are both pretty low, which is definitely expected for just 18 to 24 year olds. But normally when I do say how much the population on average has at a certain age group, I'll be using the median because that's a lot more accurate. There are a ton of millionaires that definitely skew this data, so if you use the average, it's not always super accurate because of those outliers. 67% of people from 18 to 24 years old have less than $1,000 saved. 46% of people from 18 to 24 years old have zero. They have nothing at all saved for retirement or even saved in general. Now, obviously, like I said, there are outliers. We've all heard of millionaires who are 20 years old, 21 years old, but for the most part, 18 to 24 year olds do not have very much saved at all. Now, if you are in this age group and this is you don't have very much saved, don't worry because this is completely normal. People in this age group oftentimes actually have a negative net worth because of college. This is the time that they're going to school, and if they're not going to school, oftentimes they don't have a very steady income or a very good income yet. Another reason why savings for this age group may be so low is because from 18 to 24, that's the last thing on their mind is they're thinking about retirement. They're not really thinking about investing, retiring. This is because people in their younger 20s often cannot relate to their older selves. So that's why if you look at statistics, on average in America, people don't start investing and saving for retirement until around 30 years old. Now I will say really quick, if you guys did watch my investment video and I showed you guys compound interest, then you see just how much money you're actually losing by waiting until you're 30 years old. I go through and I show you just exactly how much money you're losing by waiting 1 year, 2 years, by investing when you're 30 instead of investing when you're 20. If you lose the time to build compound interest over those 10 years, you lose in the millions. Now I'm gonna say if you are in this age group, 18 to 24, and you have nothing saved for retirement, or you do and it's in a bank account or something, go ahead and download the Fidelity app right now. Open up a Roth IRA and go ahead and start putting as much money as you possibly can into this Roth IRA, into a good mutual fund of about 14% ROI. Now I know a lot of people are gonna say 14%, that's crazy, that's a crazy ROI, but it's definitely doable and it's definitely achievable. And I personally have 4 mutual funds with Fidelity with 14% or higher on ROIs. I have one that's almost 16%, and that's a lifetime, and it's almost 50 years old. If you guys want me to make a video on what exact funds I use, I have no problem doing that. Just let me know in the comments down below and I'll go ahead and make that. If you can do this in your early 20s or even at 18, you will be so ahead of your peers and you will have a great start to saving for retirement, and you'll ultimately end up saving and having so much more money than everyone else when you retire. The next age that I'm going to talk about is 30 years old. By now, you should be in your career, having a good steady income, and you have been putting away some money for quite some time. Now, at 30 years old, you should have at least 1 times your salary saved for retirement. So on average in America, the household income is around $60,000. So if you make about $60,000, that means at age 30, you should have about $60,000 saved for retirement. According to a survey done by Transamerica Center for Retirement, the median that 30-year-olds have saved in the United States is $45,000 saved. So if you have more than that, then you're doing great and you're ahead of the curve. But just know, as a good rule of thumb, at 30, just to have 1 times your salary saved for retirement. Okay, and now we're gonna start jumping up in numbers very, very quickly. At age 35, just 5 years later, you should have 2 times your salary saved. So if you're making $60,000 a year, then that means you should have $120,000 saved for retirement at just 35 years old. Now I know you're thinking, how is that possible? There's no way that I can save $60,000 in 5 years and still pay all my bills. And the reason is because of compound interest. Like I said before, compound interest is one of the best things that you can have for your retirement. To give you an example, let's say you hit your mark at 30 years old and you have $60,000 saved. Well, if you have that in a good mutual fund, in a good retirement account at 14% ROI, meaning it's giving you 14% back every single year in interest, that means the interest that you're gonna earn over those 5 years is $42,000. That's $42,000 you don't have to do anything for. Just because your 60 grand is in that account, you got that 42,000 over those 5 years for free. You didn't do anything. You didn't work or anything. So if you do the math, that means that now you only have to save about $18,000 over those 5 years, which is only $300 a month. So from 30 to 35, if you can just save $300 a month, then you'll be set and you'll hit that goal of 2 times your annual income. Now, the median saved for 35-year-olds in the United States is about $60,000. That's how much they'll have saved for retirement. So if you can save $120,000 at 35 years old, you're double what your peers have saved for retirement. Now, the next milestone is at age 40. At age 40, you should have at least 3 times your annual income saved. Now, I know that sounds like a very daunting task, but if you were able to save 2 times your annual income by 35, then saving 3 times by 40 is going to be very easy. This is because of compound interest. It has even more money to build on. So if you already have $120,000 saved at age 35, from age 35 to 40, that means you have to save $60,000. If you do the math, 14% of $120,000 multiplied by 5 years is $84,000. Meaning you get $84,000 over those 5 years for not doing anything, which is way more than the $60,000 that you need saved. This will bring your portfolio to a little bit over $200,000. Now this can be a really, really nice safeguard if something really major in your life comes up from ages 35 to 40 and you're not able to save. I will say if you are able to save and keep saving $300 a month from ages 35 to 40, then this will end up, your portfolio will end up being around $266,000 at age 40. And that's just saving $300 a month from the 35 to 40. Now, I found this out using the website Dave Ramsey Calculator. You guys can go on there too. It's really, really helpful. Basically, you just put in the age that you're starting, put in how much you have saved, put in when you're done saving, when you want to retire, and then you put in your annual interest rate for the investment account that you have, and then it'll calculate it all for how much that you're going to end up with. The median 40-year-old only has $60,000 to $70,000 saved for retirement. This is because, yes, they might still be saving, but they're not saving the right way. They're just putting it in a bank account with a little itty bitty tiny interest rate instead of utilizing compound interest and using mutual funds and investing in the stock market. At 50 years old, you should have about 5 times your income saved. If we do the math, 60,000 times 5 is about $300,000 saved for retirement at 50. Now, let's say you hit your goal previously of $180,000 saved at 40 years old. This means that you only need to save $120,000 between ages 40 and 50 years old. Now, like I said before, if you've invested in a good mutual fund at 14%, yada yada yada, like I've been saying the whole video, then this is going to be pretty easy. Actually, you won't even have to do anything. The compound interest that you're going to make over those 10 years, starting at $180,000, is about $252,000 of free money of compound interest. This is going to bring up your savings for retirement to about $432,000, which is about 7.2 times your annual salary, way more than just the 5 times your annual salary that you should be hitting at 50. And the median 50-year-old only has about $150,000 saved for retirement at 50 years old. So you'll also be way ahead of all your peers and have way more money than what's normal. At age 60, you should have about 7 times your annual income saved for retirement. This number comes out to about $420,000 saved if you make the average household income of $60,000 a year. Now let's say you were able to hit the mark at 50 years old of $300,000 saved for retirement. If you have this money in a good mutual fund, this $300,000 starting at age 50, then from 50 to 60, that mutual fund is going to give you around $420,000 of just compound interest. So the $420,000 on top of your $300,000, that's $720,000. So now you have $720,000 saved for retirement. You're about 60 years old and you're ready to retire. Let's say that you want to keep living the exact same lifestyle and keep using $60,000 a year to fund it. Now, if you pull out $60,000 a year from your investment account, this is going to be taking out about 8% every year. You have a couple options. So you could either live way cheaper and maybe instead of taking out $60,000, you take out $30,000, $40,000, or you could work just 5 more years. If you work just 5 more years and let the compound interest just keep doing its thing, then by the time you hit 65 years old, you will have $1.2 million saved for retirement. This means that if you wanted to keep living with $60,000 a year, that you could actually use that and it would only be taking out about 5% of your retirement account. This would make your retirement savings last a lot longer than the 8%. Now, the second option, and to me this is the much better option, is to just keep saving $300 by the time you're 35. If you remember, we talked about at age 30, you just save $300 a month to get that extra $18,000, and then at 35, you technically don't need to save any more and your compound interest will take care of it for you. Well, if you did choose to keep saving at 35, from 35 to age 60, if you just save $300 a month, with starting out with $120,000 at age 35, this would mean that age 60, you were to retire with $4.7 million. Because of all the compound interest and you adding to it every single month, it would multiply your portfolio by millions of dollars. So that's what I would do if I were you. Just keep saving $300 a month from 35 years old all the way till you're 60 years old. Alright guys, so that was how much money that you should have saved by age. If you enjoyed that video at all, make sure to hit that like button. And if this video added value to your life at all, make sure to go ahead and subscribe. I do make new videos just like this one every single week. But have a great day guys, and see you next week.